So let me start by saying a driving game where driving fast is rare doesn't sound fun. And yet, here's SnowRunner, one of the most interesting, enjoyable, and challenging driving games I've ever played. When acquaintances ask me what SnowRunner is, I tell them, oh, it's just a game about driving trucks through the mud, lol. But what I want to say, so that I cannot sound like a child, is that it's a level-based semi-sandbox physics puzzle truck driving Souls-like fleet management simulator, because that's really what it is. Level-based semi-sandbox. The game is split up into large open maps that you can go wherever you want at any given time. You can do the objectives or just drive around. You have the same amount of content available regardless. Physics puzzle. Mud deformation, the weight of your trucks and cargo, and the suspension on your trucks makes navigating the more unconventional obstacles a challenge in patience, precision, and power! Truck driving Souls-like. Admittedly a stretch, but this game is like if American Truck Simulator had more cock and ball torture. If you roll your truck, fall down a mountain, or get submerged in a mud pit, which you will, a lot, you are left with two options. Drive some trucks to where your disabled truck is and try to get it back up, repaired, and reloaded with cargo with a crane platform, or recover it back to the garage, leaving your cargo and any trailers behind. Having a repair vehicle, a truck with a crane, and trucks with fuel tankers stationed around the map is where the fleet management aspect comes into play, because nothing is more annoying than running out of gas when you have no other trucks nearby. I have played a lot of racing games and have never encountered a driving game that challenges its players in the way SnowRunner does. It's not just holding the accelerator and slogging through mud pits, it's feeling around the edges of a flooded road, making sure it's not too deep, deciding to take what looks like the more difficult route, but banking on the fact that there are trees or power poles you can use to winch your way through. It's riding the brakes down a rocky hill, careful not to apply too much brake to make the front suspension bounce, but enough to make sure you don't barrel down the hill. It's trying to navigate the treacherous trails with oversized cargo as big as a house, making sure it doesn't tip, the trailer doesn't bottom out, and you don't get snagged on bridges or power poles. It consistently challenges this skill set, and I can't say I can think of any other game that does. The vehicles handle very differently from any other game I've played, looking like I'm drunk anytime I try to go straight down a paved road. But this game is about off-roading, and the driving feels phenomenal. Off-road racing games definitely aren't a new concept, but how many of them really delve into the realism of what trying to traverse an untamed landscape must feel like, rather than just painting the ground brown and making it a bit slipperier? Trails have ruts from the many passings of previous vehicles, sometimes too deep of ruts, and you'll need to hike one set of tires up on a dry center. Ground off the beaten path, even if it's not muddy, is soft, having never felt the weight of a 10-ton truck, and if you sit for too long, you'll start to sink. Badly navigating a mud pit will lead to you beaching your truck, as any time your wheels are spinning, you're actively digging a hole. The currents of rivers can sweep your truck away unless you winch to something to use as an anchor. Small rocks will be kicked up by your tires as you climb hills. Ice is, well, it's ice. You'll need chain tires to have anything get traction. Trees and objects act as valuable winch points to make your way through treacherous areas. Larger trucks can barrel through smaller trees. Seeing such an interactive environment is so refreshing in a driving game. It's not an entirely static world either. You actually wear down these roads as you use them. The game keeps track of terrain deformation. If you use a route a lot, you may end up digging massive ruts, making it increasingly difficult to use, which just adds to all the immersive details put into the terrain. Of course, it doesn't keep track of it forever. I can't imagine how much memory that would consume, but it keeps track of it for long enough that it's believable. The game starts you off very incapable, in just a pickup truck with some all-terrain tires. You'll be forced to stick to paved and dry roads the best you can. As with highway tires or all-terrain tires, mud is a no-go. As you explore and unlock the map by getting to watchtowers, you'll find upgrades to help make your vehicles more capable. Lifted suspension, all-wheel drive, locking differentials, mud tires, bigger engines, and better geared transmissions. As you build up your truck to tackle different obstacles, the map metaphorically starts getting bigger, as you can now take your trucks into areas they couldn't get to before, allowing you to reach more upgrades, new jobs, or even new trucks. Building a well-rounded fleet of trucks is vital to success, as not every truck is capable of doing everything, and it's your job to assess their strengths and weaknesses. Some trucks might have the power and size to haul heavier cargo, but lack the agility needed for mountain trails. Some might not have the weight needed to support crane attachments. Some scouts might be good for just scouting, while others might be capable of recovering larger trucks.
Oh, shit.
Some trucks never found their niche for me and just ended up parked on main routes with fuel tankers acting as mobile refueling stations. What's satisfying about SnowRunner is that it never tells you what truck is best for what. It's up to you to determine what you want to use a truck for, and you'll gain a sense of pride when you have a fully capable fleet. It also never tells you how to go about clearing a map. It just spawns you at a garage and leaves it up to the player to decide how they want to do it. Do you want to clear each objective in as efficient of a route as possible, trying your hardest to avoid doubling back or ever returning to the garage? Or do you want to jump around doing whatever sounds interesting and fast traveling back to the garage whenever you complete a task? You can do either, and the game doesn't punish or reward you for how you choose to play it. SnowRunner has two difficulty settings, normal and hard. Hard makes it so that fuel costs money, doesn't show you waypoints, and requires that you bring materials to factories to craft the items that you need instead of the factories just stocking those items. It also adds a cost to recovering vehicles back to the garage. It's a relatively minor fee, but if you do it too often, you won't be making much progress financially. Although, sometimes the game will force your hand. No game is without its bugs. Thankfully, it's not common, but sometimes strange clipping issues will happen with objects and environments that cause the physics to bug out and sometimes launch you like that one swing set from GTA 4. These physics explosions seem to happen much more often when playing online, most likely a byproduct of some desync, but yeah, online. SnowRunner has 4-player co-op. I don't have a lot to say from personal experience because I've only ever played solo, but yeah, on top of everything this game already does so well, you and 3 of your friends can help each other along in each other's save files, progressing and completing the maps quicker and easier, or just go mudding. Driving the latest hypercar flavor of the month for the first time was cool. After the upteenth time it's gotten stale. Driving unusual things is fun. Driving something I've driven in real life but never in any other game before is just cool. SnowRunner boasts a nice 40 trucks in its base game, with each DLC map adding 1 or 2, while also having DLC trucks you can buy if you want more. But on top of that, mods. A lot of mods. With an in-game mod browser. So you're at no shortage of vehicles in this game, and you can try as many of them out as you want, because unlike anything in real life, you can sell your trucks for the same amount of cash as you bought them for, leaving plenty of room open for experimentation or just switching your fleet around if you're sick of driving the same trucks. It's easy to look at SnowRunner and see tedium, and to that I say, yes. But it's such a breath of fresh air, maybe just for me, but I think in gaming in general. No metas or balance changes to keep track of, no daily challenges or season pass crap. You want to drive trucks? Just go drive trucks. It's as simple as that. SnowRunner is $30 on Steam, and I think it's well worth your money. It took me 130 hours in the game to complete the first 2 maps. Most of the footage you've been seeing is the 3rd map and the Wisconsin expansion map, and I'm genuinely looking forward to getting to the rest of the DLC because I've heard the quality and challenge only go up. I would just like to give a quick thank you to the mod author Naked Dave. He is the creator of the free camera mod that helped inspire me to even make this video in the first place. He's a great mod author who keeps on top of his mod with the updates, and at one point even responded very kindly when I messaged him and asked him if he could update it after the game had been updated, and yeah, all around just a great guy. So shout out to him and his mod for making this video possible.